I can honestly say that in this 5, there is definitely something for everyone, no matter what your preference, no matter what your skin type. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 incredible, affordable foundations that I think rival anything that high-end luxury has to offer, but at a fraction of the price. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. So before we dive in, I'm 43, I've got dry skin. I prefer more of a glowier, satin, hydrated foundation. Now, having said that, I'm not adverse to a very, very soft matte foundation as long as it does give me a little bit of luminosity. However, having said that, there are foundations in this 5 that are suitable for all skin types, not just for dry skin. So I guess I have put these into an order, ending with what would be my top recommendation and the closest to high end within this bunch. But honestly, I love all 5. And if you go back through my videos, you will see these being used regularly. There's only one new-ish foundation in this collection. All of these are complete staples. With all of these demonstrations, I didn't wear a primer and I didn't powder my face. So it was just the raw foundation basically on top of a moisturizer. So we're going to kick off with number 5, which is from Morphe. Now, I never know whether we class Morphe as drugstore or not. I think we can class them as affordable. Whether they are technically drugstore, I don't know, but we'll call them drugstore for now. So this is the Morphe Lightform Extended Hydration Foundation. I have this in the shade medium 8N, and this retails for about €23. So this claims to be a weightless and long wearing foundation, which floats on to diffuse imperfections instantly with undetectable medium coverage. And it has a hydro relief complex, which works to improve and maintain skin's moisture balance and barrier function over time. This foundation is made in Italy, and you get 30ml of product for the €23. So this has been a foundation that I've loved ever since the day it was released. I find this to be a really silky, lightweight foundation. So I find that it gives you, I would probably say, a high light to a solid medium coverage. So it's definitely buildable. I love the feeling of this because it literally just feels like a second skin, and I can't feel it there. It feels completely weightless. Now, I would say that this foundation is perfect for people with dry to combo skin. I'm not sure if you had oilier skin that this would hold up on you. So I think that this would be maybe a 7.5 out of 10 for wear. I think it probably does fade a little bit quicker than some of the others. And that's just because it is super hydrating. Now, a couple of things to notice about this is it's alcohol free and it is fragrance free. And in terms of the finish, I think this airs on the more natural side. So I don't think it's dewy, but it's obviously not matte, but I'd say it's a really nice natural finish. And this foundation actually always gets me so many compliments. I really enjoy this foundation. It feels incredibly high end. And I've always said this since I first started using it, which was when it was released. This Morphe is definitely a dupe for the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. If you go back through my videos to about 2 years ago, I did try these on side by side and they literally looked like the same foundation. This was definitely the product that brought Morphe back onto my radar after not thinking about the brand or being interested in them for quite a long time. It's at number 5 because I don't think it has the longevity as some of the others, but it really is an absolutely stunning foundation. And if you have more dry to combo skin, I think you'll love it. So in at number 4, we have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. And just so that you are aware, there are 2 of these. So there is a matte version to go along with this dewy version. So this is definitely a foundation that I would say is only for people with dry to normal skin. I think that if you have more oily skin, then you may struggle with this one because this is a traditional dewy foundation. So it retails for about €8, so really affordable, and it has a random amount of 28ml. I don't know where they took our other 2ml, but we'd like it back, please. The one thing I don't like about this foundation is that silly little spatula that it comes with. I have no idea who designed this or why it's like it is, but just give us a pump. So in the Wet n Wild, I wear the shade Classic Beige, and I would just say that the shade range isn't massive for this, so it is quite limited. So the Wet n Wild claims to be a weightless, super nourishing foundation that delivers natural long wear. It has a silky and creamy coverage, which is easily blendable from medium to full. It blurs imperfections and helps to minimize the appearance of pores for a perfectly smooth and dewy finish. This is one of the most silkiest foundations that you can ever put on your face. It is pure hydration for the skin. So it feels like a true skincare foundation hybrid. And if you have super dry skin, if you have dry patches on your face, this is going to really help those out because it's not going to cling to anything. It's going to help to smooth everything out. Now, this gives a really beautiful, healthy, glowy look to the skin. Very youthful, very radiant, very juicy looking skin. And I think there's one really important thing to note about dewier or glowier foundations or even satin foundations. You cannot expect the blurring quality of a matte foundation with a foundation like this. Although I do find that it has blurring qualities, it's not going to make your pores invisible because when you choose to go glowy, when you choose to go more satin, luminous, when you choose the radiance, you are essentially going to forfeit the matte blurring of the product. That is just a fact. And I think we are so used to seeing people unbelievably filtered online that we think that these are going to erase our pores. So I guess you just have to pick your battles. I get round the lack of blurring around the pores by going in with a little bit of powder, and sometimes I'll take a little bit of a matte foundation or a matte concealer and I'll just brush it over my pore area. To be quite honest with you, I'm not bothered about having my pores looking a little bit visible because it just means that I have skin. So I just think you need to be really realistic about what you are going to achieve with a glowier foundation. Now, this foundation is alcohol free, but it does contain fragrance. Now, it's not something that I notice, but it is in the ingredients list. So that's something to keep in mind. Every time I wear this foundation, every time I apply it, I struggle to understand how it only costs me €8, and I think I paid about £6 for it from Amazon. It really is so incredibly flattering. So if you have more dry, if you have more mature skin, I think this is a foundation that you could truly love. The only reason it's not on the top spot is because I do feel like if you got more oily skin, it wouldn't be the best for you. But for me and my dry skin, it's amazing. So in at number 3 is the Maybelline Superstay Lumi-Matte Foundation. This retails for about €16, and for that you actually get 35ml of product, so a little bit extra than normal. I have this in the shade 128, and it really is the most perfect shade match. So the Maybelline Lumi-Matte Foundation is designed to provide flawless medium to full coverage with a stunning luminous matte finish and up to 30 hours of wear. It is an innovative buildable formula which truly feels light as air on your skin. It is powerfully resistant, making it transfer sweat, heat and water resistant. I think the first thing that you will notice about this foundation is how lightweight it is, because the majority of high coverage and soft matte foundations that I have tried have felt really quite thick and quite substantial. This is literally, as it says, it's as light as air. It feels so liquidy and it just blends so incredibly effortlessly. It will surprise you because it definitely surprised me. So on paper, I shouldn't really like this foundation, and I did avoid it for a very, very long time. But honestly, this fast became one of my ultimate favorite foundations. So this is definitely a foundation that does what it says on the tin. It gives you a very luminous matte finish. But when we say matte, there's nothing flat about it, okay? It's going to give you a healthy, lit from within glow. It really is beautiful. So it gives you a solid medium coverage, and I'm pretty sure that you could build this up to full. In my opinion, I think this is suitable for all skin types. However, I will say that if you have more sensitive skin, now I should avoid this ingredient that I'm going to talk about because I have rosacea, but I don't use this foundation every day. So on the odd occasion, it's absolutely fine for me. But I think if you have literal dry patches all around your face and maybe you have sensitive skin, so for example you have rosacea, this foundation does contain alcohol, so that is something to keep in mind, that it could potentially dry out your skin over time. The one thing I absolutely adore about this foundation is the longevity of it. I did do a transfer test on all these foundations, as you can see, and this one definitely performed the best. So the test that I did were about 5 minutes after application, but if I would have left it a little bit longer, there wouldn't have been a scrap of transfer with this foundation, because it definitely does meet those claims of being transfer resistant, water resistant, and also sweat proof. This is not going to budge. There's no separation with this. I love it. It just lasts all day. And the other thing that I really appreciate about this foundation is the fact that it is very self-setting. So I absolutely don't need to use a scrap of powder with this. It really is just a foundation that ticks every box, and the reason that it's at number 3 is because it contains that denatured alcohol, but it doesn't contain any fragrance, so I guess that's a plus. It really is such an incredibly luxurious feeling foundation. I love everything about it, and it is proof that you shouldn't really judge a foundation based on the title, because flat matte, this is not. You really do get the best of every world with this foundation. So in at number 2 is the newest foundation to my collection, and it's this new one from Essence. This is the Silky Hydrating Longwear foundation. This retails for about €6, and for that you get 30ml of product. This product is also made in Italy. I wear the Silky Blur in the shade 155, and they have an amazing shade range, which I think Essence have improved so much over the past year even. If you had written off Essence because you could never find your shade, give them another whirl, because their foundation shade is really good now. So this foundation claims to have a smooth and soft focus effect on the skin, offering buildable medium coverage that blurs imperfections without masking your natural radiance. It is infused with prickly pear extract, and the formula feels light and breathable, ensuring lasting comfort for everyday wear. So I tried this foundation, and honestly, I really did think that it wouldn't be my cup of tea. I thought that it was going to be too matte for my face, and honestly, I've never been as blown away with a Drugstore foundation. And the only reason this is not on the top spot is because it's the newest to my collection. So it doesn't feel right putting it at number 1 yet. I've had it for weeks now, and every time I wear it, I can't believe how it looks on my skin. Every time I wear it, I question why it only costs me €6. This, I don't feel, is a matte foundation, and I guess that is a negative at the same time for some people, because people will be purchasing this looking for a matte foundation and then getting it home and realizing that actually it's more of a soft focus, natural finish, and that's how I would describe this. So I think that this allows my base products to come through beautifully. As it says in the description, it doesn't hide your natural radiance, and I would absolutely agree with that. So this, although it's not glowy, although it's not dewy, and it's not super duper radiant, it just makes my skin look so good. It looks so hydrated. Now, again, because it has a little bit of very subtle glow to it, I don't feel like it blurs all of my pores, but I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. I love this as an everyday foundation because it's like the Lumi-Matte. It's very, very runny in consistency, and this is a foundation that will last me literally all day long with no issues, no touch-ups. I don't have to powder this foundation, and it's definitely the foundation that I will go and look in the mirror 5-6 hours after application and be absolutely blown away by how good it still looks. I still can't believe that it doesn't start to dry my skin out, that it doesn't start to separate, that it doesn't start to emphasize lines that I don't want emphasizing, because, you know, foundations start to look tired throughout the day. And I actually think that this looks more beautiful when some of your natural oils start to come through. And I genuinely feel like this is suitable for every single skin type. No matter what skin type you have, I think you would really love this. From dry to oily, this is absolutely beautiful. I couldn't love this foundation anymore than what I do. And again, it's proof that you should try foundations that claim to be one thing, because sometimes they turn out to be another. And this is not a matte foundation on me. In my opinion, Essence have produced one of the most high-end looking foundations for an absolute steal. €6 for what is one of my all-time favorite drugstore foundations ever. It's incredible. So in at number one is probably my most trusted drugstore affordable foundation. It's the one that I've had in my collection for the longest, and it's this one from L'Oreal, the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. This is definitely, in my opinion, the best all-round drugstore affordable foundation, and I think this is suitable for any skin type. So this foundation retails for about 16 or 17 euros, and for that you get 30 ml of product. So this foundation is enriched with hyaluronic acid. It claims to be a hydrating foundation that provides 24 hours of moisture, leaving your skin feeling super comfortable and supple all day long. Now I have this foundation in the shade 3N, but this actually has a skin matching technology which uses 6 pigments to precisely capture the nuances of your skin tone, which ensures a seamless and natural looking finish. So I would definitely say that this is I would call it a natural satin finish, because although it is natural looking, it definitely has a little bit of radiance to it, a little bit of a natural glow to it. And so I would describe that as more satiny. I think if I was to change anything about this foundation, it would be that I would love it to be just a smidgy bit more blurring around my pore area. But honestly, on a day-to-day basis, I do not mind if I can see a few of my pores. Again, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. If you don't want to use a matte foundation and you want to use anything but, then you're not going to get the blurring quality that you get with a matte foundation. But I still love how this looks on my skin, and it's the foundation that I am wearing today. I just think that this is the most super dependable foundation there is. I think it has brilliant wear time on it. I don't get breaking up of this foundation. I will just get a subtle wearing away of it by the end of the day. Funnily enough, I wore this for years and I didn't realize that it contained an SPF. Didn't have a clue that it contained an SPF. Now it's really, really small. It's an SPF of 16, and when you buy it and you look at the bottle, it doesn't state that on the bottle, and I had to do a lot of research to actually figure out whether this did have an SPF, but it does. It's very tiny, so probably pointless, but it is in there. However, you can't smell it, and this is fragrance free, and not like a lot of other L'Oreal foundations, it does not contain alcohol either. Great coverage, solid medium coverage, definitely buildable. But as I will say with any single foundation on this planet, don't be over applying foundation. The minute you start to over apply foundation is the minute it's going to start looking heavy, it's going to emphasize texture, it's going to sit into your pores, and it's just not going to be flattering. Just use what you need, and all of your foundations will work beautifully. And another thing about this foundation, in my opinion, I definitely feel like it's a dupe for this, which is the Armani Luminous Silk. They're made by the same people, L'Oreal, and these look almost identical on the skin. Honestly, I did a dupes video recently where I put these on side by side, but I've always thought that these were a dupe. Before the reformulation of the Armani, it was a dupe, but even more so after the reformulation. So both beautiful satin finishes, but there is a drastic price difference between these two. I love this foundation. It just ticks every box for me, and if someone was to say to me, which drugstore foundation would you recommend to me? I have dry skin, I have combo skin, I have oily skin. It would be this one. It just ticks every single box, and it is so affordable for the price. It feels so incredibly high end. Honestly, you won't believe it till you try it. And just to confirm, I have not been paid to talk about any of these foundations. I purchased every single one of these foundations with my own money. And again, I've used them for a long, long time, apart from the Essence, which has only been in my collection for just over a month, I'd say. The rest of them I've used for years. Go back, check out my early reviews. Well, don't go back too far because that is cringy. Nobody wants to see those early videos. Oh my gosh. Obviously, there are many, many, many amazing drugstore foundations out there. These, for me, hit the top spot. I can honestly say that in this 5, there is definitely something for everyone, no matter what your preference, no matter what your skin type. All of these foundations, if you blind tested them, you would not know the difference between these and a high-end luxury foundation. I promise you that. So please do let me know, what do you think about these foundations? Have you tried them? Are you planning on picking any up? Or do you have another favorite affordable foundation? Let us know everything down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.